All right, folks, welcome to the first set of notes for our organic molecules unit.
Yeah, small to big. So one of the things we're going to take a look at in this unit is how is matter structured, going all the way down from the really, really small up to large scale. And so starting at the smallest piece that we're going to take a look at, not the smallest piece that's out there, but we're starting down here at atoms. And atoms will come together, bonds will form between them and form molecules, which are larger structures. And Mr. Hamele is circling a very famous example of a very famous molecule, H2O. There are two hydrogens bonded to one oxygen. And so the hydrogens are the bluish green color, oxygen is red, and then the sticks between them are the bonds. So atoms can bond with each other, create larger things called molecules, and then those molecules.
Oh, I just want to make clear that this is an atom, that is an atom, that is an atom. All together we have a molecule.
That's a very good distinction to make, yes.
Okay.
The rabbit is wise. So you get all of the molecules and things together, and they're able to carry out the functions of life. What do you have? You have cells, the basic building blocks of life, and or organisms, right? So you can have unicellular, multicellular organisms. Is this still me?
I'll do this one.
Okay, good.
So what are the organizations of living things from smallest to largest? So if we go to the smallest fully functional piece of living material, that would be a cell. We learned that in our last unit. If we take a bunch of cells and put them together, we get, what's this?
A tissue.
A Kleenex.
We get tissues. So tissues are all a bunch of the same type of cell doing the same job. If we put a bunch of different tissues together, like muscle tissue and mucus-producing tissue, and things of that nature, we can get an organ like the stomach, a bunch of different tissues working together to do a particular job, break apart food. If we put a bunch of different organs together that all work together towards the same end, we have a system of organs, or we call it an organ system. And if we put all that together, we get an organism. Now, if you want to get technical, there are smaller levels of organization below cells. Atoms come together to form molecules. Molecules will form little organelles, meaning little organs, things like the nucleus or the mitochondria you may have heard about before. And then that goes into cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, and organisms.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're going to talk about organic molecules here in this unit. And so we already established that molecules are just some atoms that are bound together to form these bigger kind of units. When we say the word organic, in this case, we mean that it's carbon-based. So carbon is an element. So we're looking at organisms, or not organisms, molecules that contain carbon. The organisms have it too. But all of our molecules are made of these things called carbon backbones. So basically a bunch of carbon kind of chained together, which forms very strong bonds and very versatile bonds, meaning it can be used for like a lot of different things, and you can kind of have all sorts of orientations there. So life here on Earth is carbon-based because we're made up of all of these molecules that have lots of carbon.
Miss Noel, do you want to tackle monomers and polymers?
Monomers and polymers, I think this is more of a chemistry thing, but mono means one.
Well,
So-
let me tell you about mono. I have
I'll
mono.
tell you. Go ahead, Mr. Chemiter. Tell us about mono.
So mono, not the disease, but the prefix here means one. So a singular entity, and then poly means many. So if we remember that, it will help us remember the definitions of these words, monomers and polymers. Monomers are the building blocks, individual pieces that larger molecules are made out of. You can think of them like individual Lego blocks, and you've got a variety of different Lego blocks that you can link together in a variety of ways to build larger structures, many, many different kinds of larger structures. Those larger structures, which are made out of the building blocks, the monomers, are referred to as polymers. It's probably less confusing than I just made it seem. And Mr. Hamele has a really good example that will show you that it's less confusing. there's a monomer, a single piece, and you can link multiple monomers together. So now we've got 2 monomers. Now we've got a larger structure. Link a bunch of them together, and we got an even larger one. So we're going to see this relationship monomer-polymer repeated throughout the different groups of organic molecules that we're looking at in this unit. And it's also just an important thing in life. Plastics are our type of polymer. You run across polymers all the time in chemistry. In fact, I know if you take chem with, I was going to say Rumpy, Fry and Bottom, you'll talk all about polymers in there.
So quick quiz. What do we call this one? The single piece?
A link in a chain.
Monomer.
Oh.
No, you got it. And
It's
this
a
one?
monomer and a polymer.
And a
Polymer.
We need the monomer, polymer, monomer.
So who's got this last one?
Noel
We
does.
all got it. We can
All
just
right.
say one.
No, you got to, I'm waiting for Miss Noel to say either yeehaw or y'all or something.
Y'all, we all got this.
Okay.
So this is our last slide for this section of the notes. And in this unit, we're going to cover 4 main types of organic molecules. The first one we're going to cover in detail is carbohydrates, things like sugar and starch.
I know carbohydrates so well, I can call them by their nickname, carbs.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one we're going to learn about is
Lipids or fats.
the third one we're going to learn about is
Ooh, proteins.
Took it
and
from
the fourth one we're going to learn about is
nucleic acids, DNA or RNA.
and are we going to get deep into DNA and RNA, Mr. Chem-Intro, in this unit?
No, we're basically gonna forget about them from here on out until we have an entire unit on just nucleic acids. We'll spend lots of time on it there, talk about the structure, the function, get into some genetics. So we're gonna talk about them in passing, remember that they're part of this group, and then we're gonna get into detail on them later on in the year.
Sounds good, guys. So this is it for this section of notes, and we'll pick up again and see you guys as we talk about carbohydrates in the next section. So long.